finding equal even weight distribution, bless you, throughout the feet, starting from this position. Bending one knee. This is the first stage of variation. Okay? This is a really good option for people whose balance is compromised for whatever reason, right? And also for pregnancy, because the balance, they're getting used to the change of carrying a passenger. So option is then to slide the foot up. Now, if somebody puts the foot on the knee, you can encourage below or above the knee, but I don't go out of my way to say, "Oi, get your foot off the knee." The reality is, especially in our in Western culture and lifestyles, the sports that we play, the activities we do growing up, is quite vigorous and quite intense, and we've put a lot more pressure on the knees. Chances are that doing this in tree pose is not going to cause an injury. Certainly, if you are practicing traditionally and holding this posture up to an hour, okay, that might start to cause an issue. But for the duration of the practice in a hatha yoga or a vinyasa practice, power yoga, it's not such a big deal. We don't recommend it, okay? We don't give it and encourage it necessarily, but we don't change or correct someone saying don't do that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it's good to encourage below the knee or above the knee, grabbing the heel and raising the heel closer to the groin if that feels comfortable. If you find there's a tendency for when you lift your foot up, your toes turn in and your knees coming forward, that's not really tree pose. Tree pose is a hip opening posture. So it's better to lower your foot down, allow the knee to go out to the side, turn your toes to point back so that you're assisting with opening up. There might be a tendency as you do that for the hips to start to open up and compromise the alignment. So bring your hips back to the center. Toes pointing down or slightly back. Okay. From this point, just change side. From this point, you might notice that your foot starts to push into the leg and it starts to create, I can usually do this almost like popping out the hip, that action, right? And people sort of hang out there. Okay, we're not wanting that to happen. Pushing the leg into the foot to focus on the lift. So a way of cueing this can be push your thigh into the foot and imagine lifting the crown up towards the sky. So straight away, if someone's like this, if they're lifting the crown up, it'll take them out of it a little bit. And if they focus on pressing the thigh in towards the foot, it should alleviate that problem from happening. Coming back, checking those hips is really important because that will be the tendency. So if the hips are facing forward, the toes are pointing down, and the foot is here, that's okay. Some people will be there, but then you might want to encourage them lowering it down. Just checking that out. In our partners, we'll be able to see how high we should go when we're in this position. Option of the hands out to the side to assist with balance. Option hands to the heart space. Option to extend the arms up if that feels like a nice option, a variation. Or you can create tree branches, maybe a mudra, chin mudra, extending the fingers out. Okay, we've got variations like dancing tree, you can play with your balance, bringing the arms down and extending. These sort of variations, all of it's welcome and perfectly fine, but starting with the cueing from the foundation, from Tadasana, and working the way up the legs and then really focusing on the hips. Are there any questions before we get into our partners?
Is it good to, in tree pose, I've seen people cue like to push your knee back and push your hips up to open a bit more of the hips or no?
Yeah, so we're working towards opening up the hips, drawing the knee back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But toes are pointing down. So as you open the knee up, we're not just making sure you're not starting to, too dramatic or that the hips are going out to
and
the
then
side.
twisting to the hips.
So, yeah, keeping the hips forward but allowing the knee to go out to the
back.
side. Yeah.
Thank you.